Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here for Furucombo's Advanced Flash Loan Workshop. So, before we get into the advanced portion on this workshop, I just want to review some of the basics for doing flash loans, maybe answer some questions that people have been having, some issues they've been having, mostly with arbitrage, maybe do a few basic examples, and then I'll get into some of the more advanced use cases for flash loans. So let's just confirm everything is working. Yep. Okay, so there are three types of flash loans that are mostly used right now. The first one is on arbitrage opportunities. I'd say this is the most prevalent one. So this is, taking a flash loan to borrow some funds, swapping those funds around, trying to get a profit on that, and then receiving some tokens above and beyond the flash loan fee and what you borrowed. So that's mostly what people are doing. There's two other ones that are pretty popular. That's the collateral swap. So what that means is on your borrowed asset, you can swap the borrowed asset without having to repay the full amount of your loan on Aave. So if you borrowed ETH, you can repay that ETH. You take a flash loan, you can repay that ETH. You can maybe swap to Matic tokens, and then now your collateral, your borrowed. You could do it both ways. Your borrowed or your collateral position can be swapped, depending on the kind of risk you want to take. So we did do one of those in the Furucombo 101 workshop. So don't know if I'm going to be spending too much time on that, but we'll get around to that one if we have some extra time in the end. Then the third one, which is an interesting use case, is the self-liquidation one. So that's you can borrow some funds on Aave, and say you've used those funds for something else. You have no way to pay those funds back. The position in your Aave is worth more than you can borrow, because your collateralization limit only goes up to, say, 70 or 80%. So if I have 1,000 DAI in Aave and I can, say, only borrow $800 in USDT, that means I can flash loan those funds, I can close my position, and I can use those collateral funds to pay back the borrowed funds on Aave. So that's how the self-liquidation one works. I'll go through the steps on that today, but that will be covered under the advanced loan or advanced flash loan portion. Okay, so before I get into these strategies, I just want to cover some things on just the basic flash loan arbitrage. We did cover this in the original one, but again, I just want to reiterate, Furucombo provides the tools necessary to complete flash loan arbitrage, but we don't always have the answers. So people always come in, they ask, can you share a flash loan? What strategies are people using? Well, the thing about flash loans is you're finding a discrepancy in the market prices between different exchanges, right? So it's always changing, and someone can't simply execute the strategy and then give it to you, right? Because once they execute the strategy, it's going to bring the market closer to parity value, and that flash loan might not be available. So I just want to create as well just a basic flash loan. So here in create mode, so if you haven't watched our Furucombo 101 and our basic flash loans, those videos are available in the Furu Studio. But to get started here, we just add the flash loan cube and decide which token we want to flash loan. So in this case, maybe let's do USDC. I'm just going to show you how to set up just a basic arbitrage, because some people were confused with the examples from the last one. And then in between the flash loan cubes, we just want to do a couple swaps. So maybe we want to swap USDC to a different token to look for an arbitrage opportunity. Let's do AVAX. I'm going to set this to the amount that we borrowed in our flash loan, and I'm just going to put it in between. So what we have here now is we've taken a flash loan for 1,000 USDC. We swapped USDC to AVAX. At the end of this flash loan, we have to find a way to pay this back, right? So we need to swap this AVAX back to USDC, pay this back, because we can see in the top left here, your initial funds are the funds that you must provide from your wallet to execute the combo. So with a flash loan, we don't want to use any of our wallet funds, so we have to find a way to pay back this 1,090 USDC. So I'm going to do another swap here from AVAX back to USDC. I'm going to use one for. And then I can use the previous amount function once I bring it in. Okay. So now I have my USDC borrowed with the flash loan, swapped to AVAX, AVAX to USDC, and back to the end of the flash loan here. So this is what I owe, 90 cents on top of what I borrowed. So in this case, with the market conditions, the initial funds still required are 31.47. So this is what I would call an unprofitable flash loan. So you can look in the top left here to see if you need any initial funds, and you can look down here to see if it says approve or send. So anytime you have to use a token in the smart contract, it'll ask for an approve. So that's this right away. If your flash loan is profitable, it'll go to send. So you'll never see this approve button. So I know right away from the top left here that this flash loan is not profitable, and I can see the approve button, so I know again that it's not profitable. So I can maybe, you can kind of play around here and see, okay, well that one's not profitable, maybe I'll try, sell token. And then you can go to your next cube here and you can change it to sell token. And then re-click the previous amount. So you can see here, okay, this flash loan is even worse. So we're farther away from getting a profit. So maybe we'll do DPI token. So this is the basic condition for being able to do the flash loan arbitrage. So this one's even worse. See, we're getting farther away. So you can mix and match, you can add things in here, you can do something called triangular arbitrage where you maybe swap between 3 tokens to see if we can generate a profit. You could say, okay, quick swap isn't working for me. Maybe I'm going to do another Paraswap token. Swap DPI. Again, I'm going to put 1 here just to set it. And I'm going to put it inside the flash loan. And now I can use the previous amount function. So we don't know which route this is going to take with the Paraswap token. But you can use 2 Paraswap cubes consecutively like this. One thing you want to be aware of, though, another problem that people have is the fact that they don't allow the price slippage on the DEX aggregator cubes. So in this case, if I am going to use 2 Paraswap cubes like this, I'm going to want to change this output here to something lower, so it allows for some price slippage between the Paraswap cube. So if you need to learn more about this, this is listed under the tutorials section for troubleshooting flash loans, section 2. So not allowing price slippage between tokens. So this again is for 1-inch, balancer, and Paraswap. So any DEX aggregator is going to potentially have this issue. So you want to allow for this price slippage. So if I was to add another swap below this, USDC to DAI, Then set previous amount. Okay, in this case, again, because I'm using a pair swap cube, I would have to allow for some price slippage. Otherwise, it's going to give me an error up here saying that this flash loan can't execute. So in a lot of cases, if you do get a profitable flash loan using pair swap cubes, check that price slippage. Chances are, you know, if you've used the previous amount function here, you're going to have to set up some price slippage to get it to execute properly. We are always available too. Feel free to reach out to me and I'll take a look at the flash loan for you and see if I can adjust it for you to get it to execute. Okay, so that's the basics of arbitrage then. And again, so you can be creative with this. You can do triangular arbitrage. You can use LP tokens or even custom tokens. A lot of the times, though, you need to be considerate of liquidity. So if you're adding a custom token, the liquidity is low, you might have to adjust the slippage in the top right here on your Furucombo. I'll show you that quick. So the slippage tolerance. You're trading a token that, you know, could have 10-15% slippage. You want to change this. But then be aware, the higher your slippage tolerance, the higher the chance that you could get front run by bot or sandwich attacked. So to avoid sandwich attacks, we do have. So we talked a bit about sandwich attacks last time. To avoid that, you can use our MEV protection on the bottom left. This is only available on the Ethereum networks, but you can find it right here down at the bottom left. I want to use that function. Okay, so we can get right into the advanced portion then. So we will do so first, to set up this tutorial here, or this demo, I'm going to have to make a deposit into Aave. So I'm going to use a basic deposit return funds borrow function to get my funds deposited into Aave and then collateralized. So first, I just want to swap some Matic E. Close to 5. Okay, so $25 is what we're going to deposit. So I'm going to make a deposit into Aave with that USDC. Let's just change use. And then I want to borrow from that USDC, and I'm going to borrow to, that'd be $10, so that's fine. Okay, so in order to deposit and then borrow, I'm going to have to do a return funds cube in the middle for the AMUSDC. And that'll be in the amount that was listed here. So in this case, I'm going to swap some of my Matic in my wallet to USDC. I'm going to deposit that USDC. I'm going to get the token back that shows proof of deposit. I'm going to return funds on that AMUSDC so the contract knows I have those funds. And then I'm going to borrow ETH from that. So this is just to set up to show you the self-liquidation strategy. So I'm going to approve first here on the bottom. So what you're approving is the use of USDC token. I might have to approve AMUSDC, but And then another thing people sometimes ask is this chain icon if they want to share. So if you are sharing me your flash loan, don't take a screenshot of it. Click this icon here, and that will copy your whole combo here, and then you can share it with someone else. Okay, so I just had to approve the USDC. I can send this transaction out. Might have a price discrepancy. Yeah, this has gone down. Okay, so confirm this. So now what this is doing is it's depositing $25 USDC, and then I'm going to borrow ETH from that position. So if it does fail, just copy this, and then you can paste this, and then you can execute again. Probably because the price is getting too close to under parity. So let's just bring this way up. Token keeps falling. So let's go back here. So what conditions would you do a self-liquidation strategy on? So if you want to change your collateralized position or close it if the market's going down or up, depending on what this collateral, you need those funds to pay back a different loan. You just want more liquidity. And again, you want to close out your position. So anything like that is possible with the self-liquidation strategy. And the nice thing is you don't need to have any upfront funds to do it. So, okay, my combo's completed here. So I'm just going to jump over to Aave quick, just to show you the funds in the wallet here. Okay, so here we are. I've supplied the $25 in USDC, and I've borrowed the 0.01 ETH on the interface here. So if we go into my wallet, we can see I have that 0.01 ETH. So now that I have that ETH, I could obviously repay that because it's in my wallet. But let's say that I swap this ETH back to Matic, and I don't have it anymore. So let me just do this quick in order to show the self-liquidation. So again, anytime you're using that token, you have to approve it. So in this case, I got to approve the ETH. And then if you're impatient, you can refresh the page once the approval's done. Like to do. Go. Refresh the price. And okay. So, for the self-liquidation strategy, it's easiest to just follow the formula. So we're going to flash loan, and we're going to repay. So we're going to take that flash loan funds, and we're going to repay our borrowed position. So in our case, it's going to be the ETH that we borrowed. We want to repay that. Then we're going to add funds back on the AM USDC tokens that we borrowed, or whatever tokens you used as collateral, rather. So if you deposited DAI, this would be ADAI or AM DAI. If you deposited Bitcoin, it would be AM, BTC. And this is just to add the funds from your wallet to the contract so that it's able to do the repay withdraw functions within the transaction. So that formula is always going to be the same. So you're going to flash loan, you're going to repay, you're going to add the funds of the your collateralized position in Aave, and then you're going to withdraw those collateralized. So because you're withdrawing here, you want to have that add funds cubes ahead. Then you're going to want to swap, if you need to, back to what you had borrowed in Aave to repay, or whatever you borrowed as your flash loan to repay it. So in this case, the borrowed funds were paid back, the 7,000, and then this user also received an extra 1,761 extra on top of what they paid back on their flash loan, because your collateralized position, again, is always higher than what you've borrowed. So they're able to get, that's kind of what's good about the self-liquidation strategies. You're going to get a little bit on top, and you can repay it without any upfront funds. So if you're close to liquidation, you're going to lose that that borrowed funds, right? So why not self-liquidate, take a little bit of a hit maybe on your funds, but then still get 15 to 20% profit, at least on top of being liquidated by the platform. Right? So this is a very good strategy to have to manage your position, especially if you're close to being liquidated there. Okay, so let's just look at the wallet here, and okay, we see, okay, we have nothing but Matic. We need to pay back our borrowed funds of the Ethereum, and then we'll be able to get back our position. Okay, so it was 0.01 Ethereum we had. So let's do that. Let's take a flash loan then. So again, this is the self-liquidation strategy here. And we're going to borrow the 0.01 to pay back the loan. So if we go to repay here, we can see what we've borrowed. So if we go to ETH, you can see, okay, 0.01 was borrowed as debt, and it's 1096, and our collateral is $25, and our utilization rate is 54%. So this one isn't super close to liquidation, but maybe you would just need those funds back to play with them for something else, or you want to change your strategy. So we're going to repay that cube. And again, the strategy is always the same. So we'll follow what was shown here. Flash loan, repay, okay, add funds on the AM, whatever token was borrowed. So in my case, I'll go add funds. I can scroll down. Okay, I can see, oh, right here. AM USDC is what I have in my wallet. So let's add the 25 tokens I had for that. Put that above. Okay, what's the next step? Okay, the next step in the self-liquidation strategy is to withdraw. So I can do AM USDC, and I can take those tokens to swap them to. So I am going to use the withdraw function. I'm going to use AM USDC, and we know from above that it's going to be 25. Set that. Boom. Put that in there. Okay, so what do I have here? I got a flash loan. I got a repay of that ETH, so that ETH is going to be done. It's going to be gone. I'm going to add funds on the AM USDC so I can utilize them for the withdraw function. Okay, so now I'm left with 25 USDC. So we are going to use this ETH up. We're going to use this AM USDC token up, and I'm going to receive 25 USDC. So now what I have to do is I have to pay back this ETH that I borrowed here. So what I can do is I can take a swap cube token. I can use USDC to swap back and pay this wrapped ETH back. So let's use 11 maybe. Then I'll just put this cube up here. So this value, we want it to be higher than what's borrowed in the flash loan cube. So in this case, yep, this is going to work. So we can see, okay, I'm going to receive a small amount of ETH, just a little bit above what we borrowed, and I'm going to receive the USDC. So if we just go back and double check here, yep, we've executed our strategy correctly. So again, we flash loaned, we repaid that position that we had in Aave, we added the USDC AM tokens, so we could utilize them in the same transaction to withdraw our original position, paid back the flash loan, and as you can see, we're going to receive an extra 14 tokens on top of what we had used as collateral on. So in closing our position, we're going to get the 14 tokens, and then we're going to receive that on top of what we borrowed from Aave. So let's approve this transaction. I think we only have to approve the AMC, so just one approval. Refresh the page. Okay, great. And now we can send. Okay, if we do have a problem, it's likely with this pair swap cube. Let's just add a little bit more. Refresh the price. Send. Okay, let's try with quick swap token instead, or so again, we just want to make sure we have enough ETH to pay back the flash loan. Problem with swap cube. So if you are having a problem, most of the problems come with those DEX aggregators. So double check the price. If you can, maybe just switch to one that is an aggregator. Because of the way the APIs work, it can be tricky. So once this strategy executes, boom, there we go. We've just self-liquidated. So all within one transaction, we've repaid the funds and we withdrew our initial position. So if we go over to Aave, you can see, okay, our initial position is closed. So this is the tokens that we earned in interest that we weren't able to withdraw because we didn't use maximum amount. So you would be able to get this, but this isn't relevant for this tutorial. And then we can see here that our debt positions closed as well, but there's a little bit of dust left over as well. So there you have it. We just performed the self-liquidation strategy. So that is the second strategy for flash loans, and then the third is the collateral swap. So again, I already have a very nice video on this, so I'm not going to go over the collateral swap in this workshop unless someone has a question on it. But it's pretty simple. If you've provided some collateral, say in Matic token, and you want to switch that to Ethereum, again, you just follow the very simple steps as shown. So we're going to flash loan. We're going to repay that initial position, and then borrow. In this case, it's a debt swap. So there's debt swap and there's collateral swap. So if you've borrowed funds in this case, in DAI, you would repay that. You would borrow an ETH if that's the token you want to choose. So why would I repay DAI and borrow ETH? So I would do that if I think Ethereum's going to go up in the future. So vice versa, if I think Ethereum's going to go down and I've borrowed something, maybe I want to repay that ETH and borrow DAI to get a more stable position. So you can do both debt swap and collateral swap. Let's see if I have a collateral swap example I can show. In any case, it'd be pretty similar. You would just withdraw your position and then do a deposit. Back. Okay, this one's cool. So this is a debt swap and a collateral swap. It's a little bit at the bottom though. Either way, okay, so they... Oh no, everything's here. So this one's a little different. They did it without a flash loan. They just borrowed the USDC, so they likely had a larger position in here. They have a few tokens. Borrowed the USDC, repaid their ETH position, withdrew their ETH position, and then deposited those borrowed funds back into Aave. So this switched their collateral from ETH to USDC in the event that they believed the market was going to go down. They wanted to hold a more stable position. So this might allow you to borrow more crypto in the future once the price goes down, and then you can borrow those funds. Maybe borrow stable coins and buy the crypto funds if you think it's going to go up. So it really depends how you want to collateralize or leverage your position, right? Because Aave allows you some leverage on your position, say 1 to 1.8, meaning you can borrow up to 80% extra from your original deposit. Play around with those extra funds and leverage yourself. So that's a sophisticated strategy as well. Again, the swap strategy is nice because you don't have to put the add funds or return funds cube inside your combo. Because the way Aave works, it allows you to, it senses that you're, you've repaid without having to add that cube there. So, cool. So that's about it for the collateral swap and self-liquidation. Again, the 3 types of flash loans, arbitrage, and those 2 strategies are the most prominent. If anyone has any questions on the arbitrage or any of these strategies, we can review that now. See anything else I want to mention? Of course, when you do add the flash loan cubes, you'll be subject to the flash loan fee of 0.09%. So again, that's important to remember. If you are having trouble with arbitrage, it's likely not this fee that's causing you issues. It's going to be either liquidity, exchange fees can play a part of it, and it's just general market conditions. What you want to look for if you're doing arbitrage is a strategy that takes advantage of market conditions. So we saw a lot of potential profit in the USDT or UST debacle with Terra, or the Celsius tokens rather, when there was market instability. So there's lots of changes in prices, lots of opportunities to find arbitrage opportunities when there's instability in the market. Again, if you are having troubles with your flash loans, we do have a doc section for that where you can review some of the problems, such as fails inside cube, something is wrong in the flash loans, if you're completing the transaction but nothing's happening, and then any other problems. So here is a good list to just double check and ensure that you've set up your flash loan correctly. Again, if you do have any questions, concerns, you can reach out to myself or someone on the team, and we'll be happy to help you. And then there's this handy channel in the Discord, the TX bot feed channel. This will show you any transactions that are going through the Furucombo proxy. So you can check, you know, what kind of flash loans people are doing. So if you want to check for flash loan transactions, you're going to want to look for this lightning bolt symbol that's indicating borrowed funds on Aave. So this is an example of a flash loan here. This money bag symbol, I believe, is now a cash in hand symbol. Just shows the amount of the transaction. This isn't necessarily indicating that they made a $321 profit. And then I've listed here some profitable transactions, flash loans that people have done in the past, which I went over in the last workshop. But I just want to reiterate here, on the left, it's going to show you will receive if your flash loan is profitable. So you definitely want to see this to ensure that your flash loan is profitable. Now, in some cases, you will see this, but you go to execute it. The price is too close to being unprofitable that it might not execute due to the price aggregator APIs. So when you're using, again, Paraswap, Polygon, or 1-inch Paraswap on Ethereum. So you want to make sure you give yourself a little bit of wiggle room. And then if you still are having issues, maybe check that price slippage. In this case, we're using Curve, so nothing to worry about there. But if you are using the Paraswap cube, check your price slippage and ensure that there's enough buffer room there in order to for your transaction to execute. Okay, so if we have any questions, we can get to those now. Otherwise, that's the end of the advanced flash loan lecture here. And then in terms of OATs, we have the Galaxy bot integrated, so it should be able to capture everyone in this channel here, and we'll be able to issue the OAT from that, so no need to DM me anymore. If we do have some issue with that, I will likely, we'll see, it should be fine. But we might have to get some, well, we might post here to get you guys to DM me if that's the case, if there is an issue. It's the first time that we've done it, so I'm not 100% sure. But it should be good. Galaxy's confirmed that it should be working. So, are there any new features? Any new features? We just added Uniswap v3. And we are working on, from our community call, we are working on adding more tools to see kind of price slippage and depth of liquidity onto the interface. So that's something that's coming. So if you want to learn more about those features that we're adding, follow or watch our community call. Again, that's located in the Furu Studio. Go to Furu Studio, you can get access to the previous workshops, again, Furucombo 101 and Introduction to Flash Loans, and then access to our latest community call from June 22nd. So we're going to host community calls once every month. I don't have audio. Okay, well, if you're having trouble, well, you won't be able to hear this. So if you're having trouble hearing, I'll post the video. And then you can just watch it there. Great. So that is the end then of the advanced flash loan workshop. We covered, recovered again, kind of arbitrage. We looked at the self-liquidation strategy and briefly covered the collateral or debt swap, which was covered in the Furucombo 101 workshop. So I will probably just snip that portion of it and add it into this video. So it's kind of an all-in-one video for someone to watch. So you could theoretically watch the advanced flash loans without watching the other videos, but both offer something for everyone. If you're interested in doing those kind of strategies, definitely check those videos out. There's lots of good information there. So thank you everyone for being here for this workshop. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're going to be able to try out the self-liquidation strategy or learn more about your arbitrage strategies, and wish you the best of luck. So thanks again.